last night, I don't know if you've ever taken one that bad. 104-59. Boston actually took an intentional shot clock violation late in the game to avoid winning by 50. So it's not like they were there to run it up. Isaiah said, we take 2 steps forward, we take 1 giant step back. Listen to what Kevin Garnett had to say after the game.
I don't know. Steph's different from when he was in Minnesota. You just don't come out and quit. You know, you got to have a reason, or someone has to make you quit.
All right, you guys could read between the lines there. You know what he's saying. If you're running the Knicks, do you fire Isaiah Thomas right now?
Well, I think Boston actually made the Knicks quit, including Stephon Marbury. The tricky thing about firing Isaiah Thomas is he's not just the head coach. He's the president. He's the general manager. We just gave him a 3-year extension, even though the team hasn't had success. So you've created mediocrity because it's a success if the Knicks slide into the 8th slot. So if I could go hire Chris Mullin from Golden State, a former New York native, and bring in Mark Jackson to be my coach and let Mullin run the front office, then yes. But to fire Isaiah today, and I have really no solid replacements intact, I can't do it. It's really important for the Knicks, especially tonight's game, to get off to a good start. We all understand that the fans have been all over them. If they get down early, the Garden could be a place you don't want to be tonight.
I think I'm with you on this because I've been saying for 2 weeks, I wish in the best of all worlds the Knicks would fire Isaiah, the general manager. I think he's still a pretty good basketball coach because he showed me in Indiana he was a pretty good basketball coach. I don't think they quit on Isaiah last night. I think they would have quit on Red Auerbach if they fell behind by 20 points because Isaiah has assembled this kennel full of dog personalities that don't go together. He knows individual talent. He just doesn't know how to blend the individual talent when you put your team together. Am I right?
And the Knicks had the highest payroll in the league
by
far.
But so what happens, we keep having these tease games, like the Utah game just recently at Madison Square Garden. They beat the Utah Jazz. That's pretty good. And a lot of Knicks fans I'm around said, hey, you know what? We might have a playoff team here. So what?
The NBA season is so long, you could be a horrible team. You're going to have some wins against quality teams and vice versa. So you could use that as a moral victory. But at the end of the day, to lose the way the Knicks lost is totally an embarrassment. Pretty sure he's embarrassed, the team's embarrassed. Tonight's game is big. The Milwaukee Bucks are in town. Michael Redd, that team has been playing well.
They have.
The Knicks find a way to play anywhere remotely like they played last night. It could get ugly in the Garden.
You ever lost like that?
I've beaten a few teams like that. I've beaten a few teams like that, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but
in college you did.
And in high school.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move it to the West now. And I can't believe we're going to ask this question because early in the season it looked like the Denver Nuggets were doing okay. They lost to the Lakers last night, 127-99. They led at the end of the first, 33-21. So they turned a 12-point lead. In the fourth quarter, they were outscored 46-24. They're now 9-7 in the middle of the pack of the West. And I know it's not as dark in Denver as it is in New York right now, but are the Nuggets the Knicks of the West?
Skip, Jay, see the difference between the Denver Nuggets and the Knicks is that they have superstars on their team. They have Allen Iverson, they have Carmelo Anthony, they have the Defensive Player of the Year defending in Marcus Camby. But for some reason, they don't have consistency. They don't have the drive to go out there every night and play up to their ability. J.R. Smith is a very talented player. They got to find a way to get him more involved. He's their intangible. Kenyon Martin, who's injured, he gives them toughness, he gives them defense, he gives them rebounding. But to have those guys on the floor, I'm disappointed when I see them lose big because to me, they're just too good.
Okay, it was just why I view them as just more talented New York Knicks. I think the teams have the same problems, even though, again, Iverson, Carmelo are better than Stephon and Zach Randolph. But the point is, me, myself, and Iverson and Melo are going to have trouble sharing shots. Iverson is not a point guard, not a leader of a basketball team, and I don't think either of those guys are that committed to winning that they just want to be stars. And they're not interested, even though Camby was Defensive Player of the Year, they don't play good team defense. And that team will lay down. And they laid down in the fourth quarter last night because they lost 46-29 in the fourth quarter to Sasha Vujovic. Are you kidding me?
I got to disagree with you a couple of things. Allen Iverson is a leader. I've seen him lead the Philadelphia 76 to the NBA Finals, and he is a point guard. The thing is, the supplemental players that they have on their team aren't consistent. They stay hurt, and because of that, they can't gain chemistry. And also, I got to put some of the onus on George Karl to put those guys in a position to get it done, because they got a great roster. When you look at their roster from top to bottom, when I play with those guys on NBA Live, they're just as good as the San Antonio
Spurs. Now we're going back to the video games again, huh?
Or when you play against them in person.
Exactly.
But I will buy this. George Karl is as much a prima donna as Iverson and Melo, and that's a problem.
Yeah. All right. Personality issues then. Let's look at the Heat and the Celtics tonight. Who do you have winning?
I got the Miami Heat.
Really?
Really?
I picked the Miami Heat to beat the Boston Celtics in Boston. They lost by 1 at the end of the game with Dwayne Wade's first game back when he missed a game-winning shot. And the reason why, first off, Boston has to travel to Miami. You get into Miami, South Beach late night. I know it's early in the season, but you're going to find a way to at least to go out to dinner. To say the least. And then also
dinner, right?
And then Dwayne Wade is playing at a high level right now. Ricky Davis is a former Celtic. Shaq has really been stepping up his game, and the Boston Celtics been getting killed where? On the board. So now enter Shaq, enter the Udonis Haslam. I see the Miami Heat find a way to win tonight. And they have pride. Don't forget the Miami Heat won the championship a couple of years ago.
And Shaq has had 3 days at home to get ready for this because they haven't played or traveled. But I agree that the flaw in the Celtics, and I'm glad you're with me on this, is that Kevin Garnett is not a center. I don't even think he's a power forward. He sort of has that two-guard mentality because he plays facing the basket. So they're soft in the middle. And any big guy should have his way with the Boston Celtics. The thing with them, though, right now, Jalen, they're playing like a college team. You know, they're just playing all out every game. And are we to December? No, we're not even to December yet. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this?
The catch for the Boston Celtics is going to be, are you going to sacrifice some games during the regular season and let your big three rest and develop your bench? Right. Or are you going to burn out your big three and your bench during the regular season and not have enough in the playoffs?
I think they'll burn out tonight and win at Miami.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Just to show you how fast fortunes can change in this league, we're surprised that he says the Celtics are going to beat the Heat. Boy, a year or two ago, that wouldn't have been the case. That's it for second down and third down. Ron Jaworski calls out Randy Moss. Skip and Jalen will give us their thoughts on that.
Wednesday, Georgetown battles Alabama in the Pizza Hut Big East SEC Invitational.